Good morning. This is Wendy Henley with the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce coming to you on Chamber Vibes podcast. We are excited today to have a special guest from Bedford County who has just done a fabulous job starting a position this past year. And going into 2022, we are thrilled to see what is going to be happening in Bedford County from this great leader. And her name is Pam Bailey. Some of you know her. She was interim as the Director of Economic Development for Bedford County. And she was in that position for a while since July of last year. And then after a nationwide search, she was hired in September. And she comes with 20 years of private business experience, very knowledgeable. She went through the Chamber's leadership program last year and graduated certified John Maxwell training, and just came with so much knowledge and experience. I think it speaks enough to say that she was hired after a nationwide search and is doing a bang-up job. We are so thrilled to have her on the show. Welcome, Pam.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, can you believe we are in 2022?
I can't believe it. I think we all have to get used to writing it when when we're taking notes. It's like, oh yeah, what year is it?
Right, exactly. And I'm struggling with that. It's 2022. But even though we're all embracing a new year, right. I think, fully, because 2021 was almost a repeat of 2020. Basically, businesses were still struggling with COVID, still had a lot to recover from, and, learning and changing and developing and being innovative. And I think we're still doing that, and that's a good thing, Right. Some change is good. And so I know you've seen that, right?
Yeah, and I think some changes are probably going to be here forever. And a lot of the hybrid work environment that you'll see, hopefully supply chains will start kind of getting back to normal and businesses will be able to do some things. Right now we're seeing people really struggling to hire people. So we've got workforce issues. We've had a mass exodus of the workforce with people who are just decided to retire early. So there's a lot of jobs and a lot of skills that are just, are jobs that are available, but skill sets that we still need to fill those positions for. So that's what we're working really hard to try to encourage people to, get trained and get jobs.
Well, and speaking of that, you attended our leadership last year with certainly a great team. Monique Minnick led that, and we had a wonderful class. And, we have ways that we can help different businesses send their potential leader to this leadership training that's starting in January. And so speak a little bit to that.
I thought it was very valuable. I will give full credit to that program for me getting the job that I have.
Well, that's a lot more testimonial than I was expecting. But yes,
I'm teasing, but no, it really was a very good experience. It was a self-reflective experience. I will say way more than I thought it would be. I didn't really know what I would get out of it going into it, but you do learn a lot about yourself. I guess things you sort of already knew, but then they're sort of, everything kind of is brought to the forefront of, this is who I am. So, and it kind of helps you be a better communicator. It helps you to be a better coworker with people, a better leader with people. And I thought it was very valuable. I'm excited to have other people I've seen that are going to be taking on the program. And I would encourage everyone to send at least one person from your company to do this program.
This year it's 25 years we're celebrating, and we've changed the name even to BOLD, and we've got it on our billboard out front for BOLD, and that stands for Bedford Occupational Leadership Development. And so BOLD in 2022. Go bold, Pam. Right. And you've already gone bold. You've got this bold job, and you're a great team leader, and you're developing and continuing to develop your leadership skills because you are a great leader for your team, but not only that, for Bedford. And so for the whole community. So we're just excited to learn and glean from you and actually partner with you on some things. So tell us this year, so we turned the page, we're in 2022 now. And so what's the mission and vision? And then we'll talk about some changes that you have been going through with your staff and
Sure.
different additions
So
there.
I don't have the mission and vision memorized, but basically, with economic development, our goal is to help businesses thrive here in Bedford County. And so whatever we can do, whether it's to be, and I think I've said this before, either help or get out of the way. But part of the EDA's role and responsibility is to make life easier for existing businesses and do what we can to help them, because 80% of the growth in the county comes from existing businesses. And so that's really where, when we went through a strategic planning process, that really came to light is, wow, that's really where we need to focus our strength and attention. Some of the other things that we need to focus on, yes, we need to, excuse me, have sites ready. But when it comes to some big nationwide marketing campaign, we don't need to do that, because that is what we have the state for. The state Virginia, or the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, does that. The Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance does that. And so we're very glad and happy to be able to partner with those two organizations. But our job is to have those sites ready for prospects, because speed to market is the number one thing. I'm excited. We do have several projects going on. I wish I could make an announcement today, but I can't. I've got four very active prospects right now in Bedford County, one in Montvale, two in the town of Bedford. There's another one in New London, and then we have another one for Teva. So we do have some very active prospects right now. And so hopefully 2022 will bring us 5 announcements at least, and that would be really exciting if all those things that we're working on come to fruition. But again, economic development is a marathon, and so
it's not a sprint.
Right. And so we have been working very hard for months on many of these things, and you just think, when you said, January, was like, oh yeah, for sure we'll have something to announce by then, and guess what? We don't.
It takes time.
It does take time, but I'm so happy that we do have a new employee. So yay!
Let's talk about her.
So I'm very excited about that. Holly Scheffel is her name, and she is her background is education. So she spent 20 plus years as a teacher. She's been a special ed teacher for years. She lives down in Huddleston, so she is local, but she, did a lot of her teaching was in Northern Virginia. She has actually a degree in criminal justice, and at one time wanted to change the world. So, thinking through that, but I think, life always has a way of doing some twists and turns, so she is changing the world just in a different way besides criminal justice. But I'm hoping that she'll be able to be on your program and talk a little bit more about herself. But I'm really excited to have her. She will really help in terms of the Bedford One program, expanding that in maybe some new and exciting ways that we haven't seen before. Also in terms of her relationship and her understanding how the school system works and how teachers work, and kind of seeing how else we can get in the classroom for workforce development. Working maybe more with you to, do some more internship programs, job co-ops. We're already working with Liberty University and CVCC right now too. So it'll be trying to bring all that together, and then also, of course, obviously with Virginia Career Works, I don't want to.
That's right.
That goes unsaid. Yeah, not to be left unsaid.
Yeah, we have so many different great organizations to partner with, and to make sure that we're helping each other and knowing what the needs are and developing a plan to work together to make sure those needs are met within our business community and our entire community for that matter. And so we definitely have some great resources there. And we certainly the internships, we would love to work with you more on that. So we'll talk about that. But looking ahead and, and talking about being supportive, what are some of the focuses? I know we talked about, workforce development, that'll be a focus. And of course, helping the existing businesses, providing what they need for support. Also broadband, talk about where we are with that.
Right. So I wasn't really involved in that whole process, but the county applied for 3 grants for broadband, and we thinking, oh, well, there's no way we'll get all of them, or we might get a little bit of all of them, but we got every single one that we applied for. I believe it was over $60 million worth of grants. And we actually were just awarded that. The information was just recently published in Lynchburg Business, but that was published before we were able to even make the announcement. But this is hoping to it should get 100% broadband coverage to every single person in Bedford County.
Yes, and probably not in 2022, but forecasting.
I think they have 15 months.
Okay.
15 to 18 months. It's a pretty short turnaround. And we are already seeing the fruits of that labor, because we have had other companies invest a lot of money in Bedford County, Comcast being one of them. And there's a lot more activity kind of going on down the lake and what we're seeing are parts of the county where people haven't really been inclined to move because they couldn't work from home, or because remote work wasn't an option, or just the infrastructure wasn't in place. And broadband is now like running water. You have to have it. And if you don't have it, you're really just kind of left in the dark. And we've seen more and more people moving to Bedford County because they're working from home. And so that's, obviously adding to our tax base too.
Right. It is so much a need, like you said. And then, of course, talk about tourism. I know, this is huge right now for our area.
Tourism is one of the biggest industries that we have as a county. And Nicole Johnson and her team are just fabulous at promoting every chance they get. They do a great job of partnering with magazines and publications and getting the word out from a tourism standpoint. We are one of the few localities, I would say, in the country that has 4 different destination spots for people to hit whenever they come visit. And what we find is that people come to visit and then they want to stay. So tourism is definitely a strong part of economic development and the well-being of our county.
Yes, we are not just a day destination anymore.
No.
So much to see here. We've got the National D-Day and the peaks of water and the lake. Poplar Forest, mm-hmm. Thomas Jefferson Home. I mean, there's so much right here to see and do, and it takes more than a day. And then, of course, like you say, you come and you end up staying because you love it so much.
Yeah.
And so I think they are doing such a great job. And we have one of the top small area adventure towns.
That's right.
Got voted.
Last year we were the top adventure town, top small adventure town.
That was very indicative of what we have here. And so come and stay and you'll love us. So 2021 successes. I know you guys had the shell building complete.
Yes.
And so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that project started, I think it was 2020. And it was 2020. We were, breaking ground, or maybe it was even 2019. But we started working on that project. It was completed in 2021. And before it was, right about the same time we wrapped up the shell building project. It was just an empty 40,000 square foot building. Belvac came to us and they're expanding. They're a Lynchburg company. And they had a new line that they needed to add, or were adding, and needed the space for it. So luckily we had the space for them so they can stay in the region. And so they have an operation currently that's in there. So we've got a lease with them.
And so that was a huge success.
Yes.
And great for our whole area and business and economic development, all of that. Wexco USA now.
Yes. So Wexco was also a Lynchburg company. They closed down a couple of years ago. And their head engineer, when the company was closing down, it was a family-owned business, and they decided that, well, I guess the company was, they were just closing down, and their head engineer, he decided to buy the IP. So he bought all of the intellectual properties for the company and decided to open Wexco USA. So it's a brand new company, but it's doing the same thing that the old Wexco did. And so they are now here in the town of Bedford, or just on the outskirts of town, I guess.
And then, so what do you think is next for Bedford? I mean, we know we've got the town and we've got some things, the projects there.
I think, the town has got there's a lot of momentum right now in the town of Bedford, and Mary Zirkle is doing a fantastic job. I think she's going to be on here soon, I'm sure.
She's coming up, yep.
She has been working very diligently on a hotel study, so I would not be surprised if in the next few years Bedford has a hotel besides the boutique hotel. We should have a business class hotel. That's if I were a betting woman, I would say that's in the future, and also the train station.
Yes,
working very hard for that.
So moving forward on that,
yes,
with the train.
So I think those are some really exciting things that are going to be happening.
Train stop in Bedford.
And that's been a really collaboration too with Franklin County, because that will help with the whole lake community, people wanting to come down from wherever they're coming from and head here. So we're excited.
Well, we definitely want to offer as much as we can in this area to bring business here.
Yes.
And to make sure that everyone has the infrastructure that they need, like we were talking with broadband and of course, transportation and so many things. So I know everybody is working hard at making sure that we have those things provided. Right. And so we're excited about 2022, what we have to offer. Not only that, disc golf.
Yes.
I'm telling you what, we had a great clinic last year, and we did this in collaboration with you guys, Bedford County. And so we're excited to do disc golf again. And I know you're becoming almost a pro. So I need to follow you. I think we need to have a little recording, Woody, of Pam going out on the course and playing, because I need to take notes from her.
You do not want to see that.
But you know what? We're all taking it up, right? Because now we have how many courses with disc golf? I
think there are 6. I think Bedford County has 6 golf courses, 6
and if
disc
you count
courses.
The schools, probably 8, because with Liberty now. And then, of course, the YMCA has a course too.
Right.
So there's a lot out there.
It is, and they make it look so much easier than it actually is.
And these discs, I'm holding one right now. They're pretty heavy.
And you will, when you go out there,
depending on which one.
I mean, these people are hardcore. They are bringing their backpack. They've got all their stuff and all their gear,
color coordinated,
all kinds of different.
Yes.
I mean, they've got 20 different discs in their bag.
And that's what I think people don't realize is there's different sizes and weights.
It's almost like, so I'm not a regular golf player either, but you've got your driver and your putter and whatever else, and they have the same thing. Mm-hmm.
For disc golf. There's so much to it. People, it's not throwing a frisbee.
No.
Okay, we don't want to say that,
no.
because avid disc golfers, they get upset.
So the next thing in terms of disc golf, from what I'm hearing, is that our world champion class disc golf course in Bedford County is in New London. That was designed by Paul Macbeth, and that runs around the perimeter of at least a portion of the New London Tech Park in Forest.
It's beautiful.
That is a professional level, and that is not to be played by amateurs. Trust me, I did it.
You've been there, done that.
And it was not pretty. But they are, I think my understanding is he's going to add another tier down level, so it's not quite
for
as
intermediate.
Hard for intermediate.
So you've got your pros.
Yes.
You got to have your intermediate, and then your beginners are out here.
I would say start off in Falling Creek, or even at
Falling Creek
Liberty
is
High
more
School.
of exactly. Liberty High School is a great place.
Now
to
they
start.
do have I would call it a putting green at New London, so you can go out and just kind of shoot baskets, but in terms of definitely wear hiking shoes when you're going to play, if you play that course, because it is rural, it's rugged.
Oh yeah. It is. It's tough. And when you watch Paul throw, it's just, he makes it look so easy.
Yes.
And so, but we do have the clinic. And so, people be looking for information on that. It looks like it's going to be in the fall this year. So just stay tuned. But I tell you, you have so much going on, Pam, and you hit the ground running, and we're going to try to keep up with you. So thank you so much for all you're doing for Bedford County, and we'll look forward to working more with you, and keep up the great work.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me.